Ladies and gentlemen, the first man to build 21-inch biceps, drug-free.
Poor person, I like to say kids, but he may not be a kid. He read about these bodybuilders that eat every 2 hours. And he said when he eats like that, he gets a stomach ache and he feels awful. And could I tell him, is that the right thing to do or not to do? And that is, my friends, why you may see me rail against steroids and you may be tired of hearing it. But this is what I'm saying about these guys that take the juice. They don't explain. With the juice, you need massive amounts of protein because you see what happens. The juice is anabolic, but you need plenty of protein. It feeds on protein. If you don't give yourself enough protein, it becomes catabolic, which is muscle waste. It'll begin to really devour your muscle. It's like a piranha. It's a consumer of protein, which it transfers to the body and holds it into the body, which it normally wouldn't. So these guys eat, and the diets are so, to do this, I don't think I would ever have done what they did. We enjoyed life. These guys have, a lot of them that I know, rice is the carbohydrate. They have rice and chicken and have little portions, and they eat that all during the day. Then some of them have tuna and rice. Some of them, I know a couple of them that eat steak and eggs and oatmeal all during the day. That's how restricted their diets are. Now, if you want to live that way, fine. But if you're not taking the juice, your digestive system can't handle that. You see, because a meal, and then you say a meal, and a meal is relative. Some guys would think a slice of pizza and a beer is a meal. So what is a meal? But the point is, if you eat a regular meal, it's a minimum of 3 hours to take to digest for the body to assimilate, go through the system. If you're eating every 2 hours, your digestive system is constantly working. And that's why you have all these problems, because you're overloading your digestive system. That's why people fast, is to give the digestive system a rest. I don't believe in fasting because to me it doesn't make sense, because to me the body feeds all day. In other words, the body's the constant state of feeding. It can go a certain period without actually having food in it, but it needs nourishment to perform at its best. If you do not give it nourishment, it'll really eat you. Our body is an eater. It's going to eat something. If you don't put nothing in, it'll eat you. And of course, if it eats you, you're in trouble. When the body gets to the point where it's got to start devouring itself to survive, you're in bad shape. But when it comes to the meals, my friends, I think 4 times a day. When we were training, we ate 3 times a day. 3 times a day. We had big meals, but we ate 3 times a day. Very rare would we get a snack. Say sometime we may get a bug in us and go to what's called ice cream parlors then and have a pie and a pint of ice cream. I didn't think of that as a fun. And didn't gain any weight or anything because we were training. But we wouldn't do that every night, not for health reasons, but because we knew that the chicken, the steak, the fish, and the cottage cheese, the eggs were more substantial. But we would do that every now and then. But the point is, 3 good meals a day is fine. 4, okay, but not every 2 hours. It just doesn't, you just think about it. See, my friends, I don't tell you, I want you to think. You're the captain of your ship. You steer your ship. Nobody gets steered for think. If you feel uncomfortable eating every 2 hours, you say to yourself, why am I eating every 2 hours? And what am I doing it for? You see, these guys personalize it. This is their personalized diets for the journey they're on. And I get annoyed that they don't explain this, they don't explain. And a lot of you young fellas, even older guys, think that's the thing to do. and you take nothing else in consideration. You look at these guys' bodies. You think you'll get like that? No. And remember, these guys are driven to get as big and as swollen as they can. That's what they're driven at. But then you see, like anything else, what's the purpose? Where are you going? But that's their decision. That's what they want to do. And the problem I have is exporting. A lot of you young fellas, like we were growing up, we did our own thing, and we devised, because there was no sports nutrition, nothing when we were training. You know, all the stuff like the different ways of training the 21s and all that kind of stuff. We developed that, experimenting. You see? But you guys today, you got to try to apply. Do not look at these fellas and think, all you got to do is follow what they do, and you'll get like them. And then you have to stop and say, then what? Because I tell you something, you're not going to improve your health. If you're doing that, we train for health. We were very much into health. You're not going to improve your health doing that. You may look good physically, visually, but you're not going to improve your health. You're traumatizing the digestive system, the body. But you see, if you take juice, you have to do that. You have to maximize your protein, or the juice becomes catabolic instead of anabolic. So I would recommend, if you're a guy that's want to get this a good muscle, good, and get in the top shape, 3-4 meals maximum a day is plenty. And then just think about, it takes about 3 hours for your food to digest. You know, go through and according to what you eat, sometimes it's longer. You ever notice sometimes you eat and about 2 hours later you may do an exercise, something, and you taste the food, like it hasn't fully went through your system. It takes time. So, as I said before, unless you're in the hardcore business, 3 to 4 meals a day is plenty. We never ate more than 3 times a day. Never. But if you want to eat 4 times a day, fine. And then it's all according to how we ate large though. We didn't have frequent meals of tuna and rice and stuff like we didn't. It's ridiculous, torture. You know, but of course there was no need to do that. We didn't know about this is the way they're applying it, because they want to maximize the rice for carbohydrates and the chicken, and that's all they ate, because of the demand for protein. So that's what I want you. And remember, when I tell you something, I'm not telling you this is an absolute. You adjust this according to what you want to do. But I want you to have all the information so that you know. Don't walk lockstep by these guys, so they don't explain. They don't want to let you know that they're using juice. So they just tell you, this is what I do. And you try and do it, and you see what happens. So 3 good high protein meals a day. You can supplement a little with some protein drinks. It's plenty. And you make your decision from there. Now, my friends, to be continued. I quit this bitch.
Wait a minute. Before you click away, I want you to subscribe, like, comment, hell, even dislike if you want to. At least do something before you get out of here.